Welcome to BizWire. I'm Joseph Nordstrom in Beijing. Well, prior to the government reforms in Myanmar and the opening up of the country long closed to the west, China was the only major foreign country doing business there. But with the relaxation of martial law, the United States, Japan, and others are readying their investments in Southeast Asia's largest country, which is rich in natural resources. For years, China had been one of Myanmar's only friends and has spent billions and will continue to do so, mainly developing infrastructure like ports, railroads, and pipelines. One of China's major projects, a deep-water port on the northwest coast of Myanmar at Kyakpu, is considered a gateway to China and the trade group of ASEAN, but the development threatens to be derailed by communal violence. The Kyakpu port offers the shortest trade route from India to China and saves ships over 3,000 miles of sailing through the dangerous Straits of Malacca. To connect with the port, China Railway Engineering, a leading state-owned rail construction firm, and the Myanmar Ministry of Railways in 2011 signed a memorandum of understanding to build a 500-mile passenger and cargo railway between Kyakpu and Kunming, the capital of Yunnan province in China's south. The railway is expected to cost $20 billion and be fully financed by China. Well, China and Myanmar are also negotiating the construction of an expressway from Raili, a Chinese city near the border, through Mandalay to Kyakpu, which would also run roughly 500 miles. In addition to these projects, China National Petroleum Corporation, or CNPC, the country's largest state-owned energy company, is nearly finished constructing an oil tanker port on Madey Island off Kyakpu to connect a $2 billion oil and gas pipeline, which will be completed this month. The projects, however, have been controversial within Myanmar, and many say China has an image problem after propping up the military junta for years and not compensating locals enough for their land and labor. For China, the cost of the pipelines, ports, and railways has been far greater as its projects are challenged more than ever by activists energized by Myanmar's democratic opening, and China has been trying to repair its tarnished reputation. In fact, the first shipments of oil and gas to China are likely to be delayed, though, because of security concerns, as government forces have been fighting with ethnic minorities in northern Myanmar. Tensions and mistrust are severe, and in October, the BBC reported that Buddhist mobs attacked Muslim quarters in Kyakpu, killing at least 200 and displacing 140,000 Muslims. And last week, in a new ominous sign for the Chinese, guerrillas of the Shan State Army attacked a compound belonging to the Myanmar Oil and Gas Enterprise, a partner with the Chinese oil company, not far from the pipeline and close to China's border. In response to the broad opposition, Beijing has ordered state-owned Chinese companies to do something they have rarely done before, and that is publicly embrace corporate social responsibility practices and act humbly toward the local people. The grassroots protests against Chinese projects are disturbing to Beijing because they come amid a scramble for influence in Myanmar between China and the United States, which they're not accustomed to. Whether China's outreach efforts will quell anti-China protests and win the hearts and minds of locals is an open question. The company agreed to more money for land, new roads, and extra electricity, but the resentment remains. Also competing for influence is Japan, whose Prime Minister Shinzo Abe today becomes the first Japanese leader to visit Myanmar in 36 years as his nation's companies seek to invest in the former dictatorship, which has some of the cheapest labor in Asia. Cheap labor and an untapped market of more than 60 million people are attracting Japanese companies. Shinzo Abe's visit comes as President Thein Sein returns from the U.S., where he met President Barack Obama on the first such visit for a Myanmar leader in half a century. President Barack Obama on Monday told Myanmar's president during a long-awaited White House meeting that he appreciates the Asian leader's efforts to lead the country on its sometimes difficult path to democracy and assured him of U.S. support. 6 months ago, Obama became the first sitting U.S. president to visit the country, also known as Burma. You're watching BizWire on the Blue Ocean Network. Stay tuned and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more in Economic Insight.